Do you feel it? That heavy silence in your chest when the world around you moves, but you're standing still? It's deafening, isn't it? The weight of disappointment, the sting of rejection, the endless echo of your own thoughts telling you, this is it. This is how it ends. No one's even looking for you. It's just you and the darkness. But let me tell you something about that darkness. It's not here to destroy you, it's here to make you. You see, the world will break you. It will leave you on the floor, begging for mercy. People will turn their backs on you when you need them most. The ones you trusted, the ones you gave everything to, will vanish the moment your life becomes inconvenient for them. But here's the truth they don't tell you, the pain you're drowning in right now? It's your greatest weapon. You're still breathing. Do you understand what that means? You're still here, standing, existing, fighting, even when everything around you is telling you to quit. That makes you unstoppable. Let's rewind for a second. Think back to the moment it all went wrong. The moment you realized life wasn't the fairy tale they promised. Maybe it was the betrayal of a friend, the love that left without a word, the dream that crumbled despite how hard you worked. Remember how it felt? Like the ground disappeared beneath your feet and you were free falling into a bottomless pit. You reached out, hoping someone would catch you. But there was no one there. You hit the ground. Hard. And as you lay there, broken and bruised, the world didn't stop for you. The clock kept ticking. The sun kept rising. The people around you kept smiling, laughing, living like your pain didn't matter. But let me tell you what they don't know. That moment when you hit rock bottom, it wasn't the end. It was the beginning. Because rock bottom isn't where you stop, it's where you rise. You see, they think you're done. They see the cracks, the scars, the quiet moments when you withdraw, and they think you've given up. They couldn't be more wrong. The truth is, you're not broken. You're not weak. What they see as your downfall is your transformation. Because the person you were before all this, that version of you couldn't survive what you're going through now. That version had to die. Pain is a sculptor, and right now, it's chiseling away everything that doesn't belong. It's carving you into something unbreakable. But I know what you're thinking. It's too much. I can't take any more of this. I hear you. I've been there. Those nights when the weight of it all feels like it'll crush you. When the silence screams louder than any words could. When you lie awake, staring at the ceiling, asking yourself why me? Why now? Why can't it just stop? But let me ask you something. What if the pain doesn't stop? What if it never goes away? Would you let it win? Would you let it define you? Or would you rise anyway? Because here's the thing no one tells you about hitting rock bottom. Once you're there, there's nowhere to go but up. Think about it. Every person who's ever been great, who's ever achieved something extraordinary, has faced what you're facing now. They've felt the same despair, the same emptiness, the same overwhelming urge to give up. But they didn't. They took the pain, the heartbreak, the betrayal, and they turned it into fuel. They didn't wait for someone to rescue them, they became their own savior. And so can you. This moment, right here, is your turning point. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when things magically get better. Right now. Because the truth is, no one is coming to save you. And that's okay. Because you don't need them. Everything you need is already inside you. The strength, the resilience, the fire, it's all there, buried under the rubble. Picture this. You're standing in the middle of a storm. The wind is howling, the rain is pouring, and the lightning is striking all around you. You're soaked to the bone, shivering, barely able to stand. And then you look up. You don't know why, but you do. And you see it, the faintest glimmer of light on the horizon. It's not much, just a sliver of hope cutting through the darkness. But it's enough. You take a step. Then another. And another. It hurts. Every step feels like a battle, like the storm is trying to pull you back. But you keep going. Not because it's easy, not because you're sure you'll make it, but because you refuse to let the storm win. And as you keep walking, something begins to change. The storm doesn't weaken, but you do. At least, that's what it feels like at first. Every muscle in your body aches, every breath feels heavier than the last. But then, through the pain, you realize something. You're still moving. The storm hasn't stopped you. It hasn't broken you. It tried to drown you, to shatter you, to strip away everything you were, and yet, here you are. Every step you take is a declaration. A declaration that you're stronger than the storm. That you won't let it define you. That no matter how hard it rages, you'll keep going. Because here's the thing about storms, they don't last forever. Life is like that storm. It'll hit you when you least expect it. It'll knock you down, steal your breath, and make you question everything. People will abandon you when you need them most. Promises will be broken. Plans will fall apart. And you'll feel lost. You'll feel like the entire universe is conspiring against you, like you're the only one who's been cursed with this pain. But let me tell you something real. Everyone, at some point, feels this way. The difference between those who fall and those who rise is what they do with that pain. You've got fire inside you. Maybe it's been dimmed by the weight of the world, but it's still there. That fire is your anger, your hurt, your frustration. It's every tear you've cried, every scream you've swallowed, every punch you've taken from life. But fire doesn't just destroy. It forges. It purifies. So let it burn. Let it consume every ounce of doubt, every whisper of fear, every shadow of self-pity. Let it strip away everything that's holding you back until all that's left is you, raw, unfiltered, and unbreakable. And when the flames die down, you'll find something incredible. You. The real you. The one who doesn't care what anyone else thinks. The one who doesn't need validation or approval. The one who knows that no matter what happens, no matter how hard it gets, you will be alright. But being alright doesn't mean everything will be perfect. It doesn't mean you won't face challenges or feel pain. It means you'll stop waiting for the world to fix itself. You'll stop waiting for people to change, for circumstances to improve, for someone to come and save you. Being alright means taking control. It means looking at the chaos around you and saying, you don't own me. Because here's the thing, the world owes you nothing. The people who hurt you, they're not coming back to apologize. The opportunities you missed, they're not coming back either. But that doesn't matter. because you don't need any of it. What you need is already inside you. Right now, as you're listening to this, you have a choice to make. You can stay where you are, angry, hurt, defeated, or you can decide that this is the moment you take your life back. Not tomorrow. Not when things get better. Right now. So what's it going to be? Will you let the storm win? Or will you rise? Vivid imagery to pull them in. Imagine yourself 5 years from now. Picture the person you want to be, the one who didn't quit, who didn't let the world break them. The one who used every setback as a setup for a comeback. Now, imagine looking back at this moment. What will you see? Will you see someone who gave up, or someone who fought back? You're at a crossroads. One path leads to regret. The other leads to redemption. Choose wisely. Let's talk about the hardest part of it all, being alone. It's easy for people to say, you'll be alright, but when you're sitting in the silence, when the phone doesn't ring, when the people who used to care suddenly don't, those words feel hollow. You've looked around, haven't you? At the empty room, at the messages left unread, at the spaces where people once stood, and you've wondered, what did I do wrong? But here's the truth, sometimes, you didn't do anything wrong. Sometimes, people leave because they're not meant to stay. And as cruel as that sounds, it's reality. Not everyone who starts the journey with you is meant to finish it. And that's okay. Because being alone isn't a curse, it's a crucible. It's the fire that forges the strongest steel. It's in those moments of solitude that you discover who you truly are. When you're alone, there's no one to impress. No one to validate you. No one to tell you what you can or can't do. It's just you, your thoughts, and the raw truth of your existence. And that's where the magic happens. Because when there's no one else around, you stop looking outward for answers and start looking inward. You stop waiting for someone to give you permission to live your life and start giving it to yourself. This is your time. Your time to grow. Your time to heal. Your time to rebuild. And yes, it's going to hurt. Growth always does. But the pain is worth it, because on the other side of it is a version of you that no one can touch. Let's talk about the past for a moment, the things that haunt you, the memories that replay in your mind like a broken record. You've been carrying them, haven't you? The betrayals, the failures, the heartbreaks. You hold them close, like there's some kind of penance, like if you let them go, you'll lose a piece of yourself. But let me ask you this, how much longer are you going to carry that weight? The past is a heavy burden, and it's one you don't have to bear anymore. It's time to let it go, not because it didn't matter, but because it's done. You can't change it. You can't fix it. All you can do is learn from it and move forward. So forgive yourself. Not for them, not for anyone else, just for you. Forgive yourself for the mistakes, for the missteps, for the times you didn't know any better. And then let it go. Because every moment you spend dwelling on the past is a moment you're stealing from your future. The future isn't some distant thing that happens to you, it's something you create. Every decision you make, every step you take, every thought you entertain, it all shapes the life you're building. So what kind of life do you want? Do you want to stay in this place of pain, of doubt, of fear? Or do you want to build something beautiful, something strong, something that reflects the person you've become? The choice is yours. But here's the thing, building a life you're proud of isn't easy. It takes work. It takes grit. It takes waking up every day and choosing to fight even when you don't feel like it. But it's worth it. Because every step you take, every challenge you overcome, every victory you claim, it all leads to something greater. I know what you're thinking. What if I can't do it? What if I fail again? And you know what? You might. But failure isn't the end. It's just another beginning. Every time you fall, you learn. Every time you get back up, you grow. Failure isn't something to fear, it's something to embrace. Because it's not failure that defines you, it's what you do after. So when that voice of doubt creeps in, when it whispers in your ear that you're not good enough, that you're not strong enough, that you'll never make it, don't fight it. Listen to it. Acknowledge it. And then prove it wrong. You're a warrior now. Not because you've won every battle, but because you've survived every loss. Because you've faced the worst life has to offer and you're still here. And warriors don't quit. Warriors don't back down. Warriors rise. So rise. Rise for yourself. Rise for the life you deserve. Rise for the person you're becoming. Because no matter how dark it gets, no matter how heavy the burden, no matter how far you feel from where you want to be, remember this. You will be all right.